so far, no one has requested the Gopi episode I offered. Come on. I know you all need more Gopi in your life. So let's go back to February 2020. The XUSOM student government was selling Valentine roses. And for $3, you could send a rose with a card to anyone you loved inside that shopping mall. So I am all for supporting students and appreciating my coworkers. So I ordered a half dozen roses and I sent one of them to our beloved Captain Gopi. And I even wrote on the card, "Thank you for your kindness and support." And as we're going to see in a moment, Gopi went on to make me eat those words. So if you want, we can play a little game. See if you can guess who I sent the other 5 roses to. At the end of this episode, I'll reveal the answer and you can see how many you got right. Now back to Dr. Gopi. After I sent him that rose, we continued to bond. I even gave him a ride home from work one day, and he invited me into his house to drink tea with him. But I don't really like tea, so I politely declined that offer. And then in March, all the chaos broke out. The Aruba government closed schools, issued a shelter-in-place order, and the medical school continued to require faculty to come into this unventilated building and teach online. And I was like, no thanks, I'm just gonna stay safe and teach from my kitchen. And they didn't like that, and they didn't like me. And I was treated horribly, horribly. And on May 11th, they posted my job online. And that was pretty horrible. I went into a panic. And then just as I was starting to calm myself down, I got a text message from my former Valentine, Dr. Gopi. And he said, "Is it okay if I give you a phone call? Don't worry, it'll only take a minute." Like my heart started racing because I thought for sure that call was to fire me. And normally that would be Dubé's job, but from my experience, I have no idea what Dubé does at that school, because things that should be his responsibility, he gives to Gopi and Prasad and other people to do for him. So I was in a bad situation. And I replied to Gopi and I said, "Not a good time to talk on the phone. Whatever you have to say, put it in writing, please." And then I started texting people who I thought were my friends because I really needed some support. And I shared how I saw my job posted. I shared that Gopi made this request for a phone call. And I shared that I was really scared. The next morning, one of those people I texted was Brumley, the manager of that children's library. And she went into the shopping mall. And I'm not sure why, because she obviously wasn't there to work. All she was there to do was spread gossip and maybe spread COVID. And so she went to several people and showed them these text messages I had sent her the night before. She even shared them with Gopi. So he's obviously aware that I'm in a state of distress. And his choice was to kick me while I was down. That's the Xavier motto, isn't it? So let's take a look. Here is the lovely rose and love letter I sent to Gopi. And then down below, you are going to see the hate mail he sent to abuse me. So his message starts off by spelling my name incorrectly, and it's only going to get worse from there. So he's letting me know that they have found some new guy named Dr. Nikhil to teach my class. So don't bother to teach this lecture that I've already prepared. They then go on to say that I should continue teaching all my other classes. I guess they need to decide if Dr. Nikhil is going to pass the evaluation or not before they officially fire me. And then he lets me know that this is what he wanted to communicate. And since I requested it in writing, hence, he's mailing per my request. And then he gets really angry at me. And he says he's receiving information from other faculty, Brumley, with evidence that I am spreading false rumors and acquisitions. I think he means accusations. Then he reminds me of how kind, respectful, and helpful he is to me. And then he goes into further abusing me. He starts off by asking me, what evidence do you have to accuse me that I've been firing people? Dr. Gopi, go back and look at your first sentence of this email that you just wrote, okay? You're literally telling me you found someone new to replace me, that you're evaluating. So he wants me to know that my information is false. It is unacceptable because at Xavier, we are a family. And he tells me to stop disrupting the harmony among the faculty with my false information because I am creating an environment of fear and stress. This is the school that has hired Barry for 12 years, and you're calling me the one who creates fear and stress? Now, here's a little lesson in emotional abuse. What Gopi is doing here is called gaslighting. Gaslighting is a way to abuse someone by making them feel that they can't trust the reality of what's happening to them. And I want to point this out because I am not the first person, and I certainly won't be the last, that this school has gaslit. And if you'd like to share any of your stories, definitely we'd be happy to hear those. And then he ends by saying this mail is not to cause you pain or agony. That is so telling. He's aware that what he is writing to me will be hurtful, yet he's choosing to hit send anyway. So that is my love story, Fatal Attraction with Dr. Gopi. If you're wondering who the other 5 roses went to, get your votes cast now. The first rose went to Dr. Prasad, and then Miss Hilda, and then Virginia, and then Manisha. And Manisha got the special card that said, "Be my cupcake," because the school ran out of like the normal Valentine ones. And I had no idea who I was going to ask to be my cupcake. But Manisha was a pretty natural choice because, as you can see, if you take Manisha out of that horribly abusive school environment, she can be really fun, like Bhangra on the beach level of fun. And then Brumley, of all people, I sent a rose to Brumley. And this is a picture of it from the Xavier Instagram. So, moral of the story, y'all. If you have a good heart, do not share your love with the jackasses at XUSOM. Instead, share your love with the jackasses at the Aruba Donkey Sanctuary. Those donkeys are absolutely cool and the most loving creatures on that island.